Good morning, friends. Welcome to class. I'm going to be a little succinct today. I've been thinking a lot about time and the way that time passes and the time that is required for anything real to change, any real sustainability to go on um, at a personal level, at a level of nature, at a level of culture, at a level of cosmic change in time. So there'll be a little bit of talk about time and the time that you spend. There'll be a little bit talk about compassion because I think it's really difficult to practice compassion. And then often compassion gives us the space to really consider how much time it really takes to be with anything, right? And how much time is required, right? And sometimes it goes both ways. Sometimes we realize that time sort of is another way to talk about attention, right? Where is our attention going? Over time. So let this be a practice for you, a practice that will allow you to practice compassion for yourself so that you can practice compassion for all of the other things and with and around all of the other things that are going on. All right, let's get started. I'd like to begin by uniting with 3 rounds of the soothe sound of Om. Om is a secular chant acknowledging the interconnection between all things, the sound or resonant quality of the universe. If oming or chanting isn't for you, please feel free to sit with us in presence instead. Many good reasons for that to be your discernment. And rest your hands in relative neutral, close the eyes, or look down at one spot in front of you. To clear and prepare the energetic channel of the body, take a big deep inhale in through your nose. And open mouth, exhale can go HA. Inhale in through the nose once more. Like a lion, HA. One more time, deep inhale in. HA. Good. Inhale, prepare for Om. Take an inhale in through your nose and an exhale out. And let's move into child's pose. We won't be here for quite as long as we often are. So if you know child's pose is not for you, you can go ahead and stay in a seat or lay on your belly or your back. Maybe the knees get over pinched or it's tight for your low back and it's not a good beginner to a kindness, mindfulness practice of sustainability and time. You're welcome to be on your side or to choose a different posture that suits you. You could take your head down onto your hands like I am, or onto the ground, or onto a block. Arms could be out long in front with the palms down or up or back by the hips. Knees can be together or wide. You can use supports if you wish. The practice is broad, and so it's never about moving ourselves through a hierarchy of asanas to some better asana. Right? In fact, the poses, the asanas, are really just tools for our awareness. And let's find our Ujjayi breath right away here. Exhale the air you have in your lungs. Take a big deep inhale in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Inhale in through the nose once more. Like you're fogging a mirror, HA. Ujjayi pranayama. Breathe in through your nose, snoring. Fill your body 3-dimensionally and softly hold it mostly full. And seal your lips and sigh out through your nose, that same HA sound, but through your nostrils. And continuing, inhale in through your nose, snoring and spreading. Exhaling out through the nose, emptying and sighing. And continue to breathe in this way. Maybe take 2 or 3 more rounds of breath to notice the observation of your breathing. You'll have to try, you'll have to decide to breathe this way or it won't happen. Little by slowly, as you lengthen your breath, without forcing or fighting, begin to move. You might move subtly, wiggle your fingers and toes. You might shift front to back, left to right. Moving in the next 5 to 7 breaths towards the hands and knees position, the tabletop shape. So take your time to get there, to rise up. And there might be a lot of time in stillness for you today. There might be a lot of time in action. I'll give options for both, ways to flow in and out of things, ways to be still and structured. It's okay to let the practice be different. It's also okay if there's a little bit of a hole in understanding. If you're thinking, well, what are you trying to get me to do? Notice what you're actually doing in that moment and see if you can start from that awareness, what you already have, where you already are. And slowly, as we come to the hands and knees position, you might circle your shoulders around your wrists or stretch your wrists out. You might send a leg back or an ankle back to move. We'll start to undulate through the spine as you plant your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips in this tabletop shape. Inhale to cow pose, lift your chin and tail. Exhale to cat pose, round in. And follow your breath through these two actions and asanas, inhaling and exhaling. And when you're ready on a cow pose, inhale to curl your toes under. And exhale into moving down dog. Lift your knees and hips up and back. Basic shape is like an upside down V, hands and feet at the bottom, tail at the top. Feel free to bend your knees to hike the tail up and lengthen through the back. And go around tension in the hamstrings and lower back. Keep pressing your feet down and your heels down, even if you're also applying muscles to lift them up. Press into your hands, widen them, maybe turn the fingers out if your shoulders feel congested. Hang your head. Good. Take an inhale, pull your shoulders over your wrists like plank. You might put your knees on the mat right away. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower all the way down to the belly, tops of your feet down. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra. And exhale to bring your chin or forehead down. Good. Now, we're going to just take the upper body and turn the hands to face the upper right-hand corner of the mat. So it's just like a little side body bend. Don't have to go super far for it to be effective. And again, inhale, Cobra. So Cobra with a little turn or twist to the right. You might press into your left hand for height if it feels good. And exhale to bring it down. Let's go back to center and inhale, Cobra. And exhale, lower the upper body. Now turn to the left. Reorient your hands as well. Inhale to press it up, long through the right body. You might look a little over your left shoulder. And exhale to come back down. Come back through center. Last one. Inhale, Cobra. Feel the back muscles activate. And exhale to bring the upper body down. Curl your toes from knees or toes. Inhale through plank or table. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale your right leg up, 1 foot a dog. And exhale your right foot down. Right, let's keep it simple. Inhale, left leg up. And exhale, left foot down. And follow your breath. See if you can notice when your hip wants to turn, or if you're working to keep it square, perhaps you let that be a limit. And just keep following your breath. Inhale, lifts the leg. Practice relaxing your neck, even as you press into your hands, soften your face. And the next time your right leg is up, use your exhale to bend your right knee and step your right foot forward. You might grab it and pull it up. Tent to your fingertips. Inhale, cow lunge. Dip your back knee, lift your heart up. And exhale, cat lunge, straightening to round in. Go back and forth a few times. You can always have your hands up on blocks as you follow your breath, or up on your front knee, or maybe on a wall in front of yourself a lot of space to limit range of motion based on your body's holistic boundaries. Okay, that's my dog Albert walking through the shot. He wants you to know that he too cares about you and is here. Bend your front knee the next time you're in a low lunge. Inhale. And exhale, step forward with one or many steps to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel free to bend your knees, stick your tail out. And exhale, fold. This time just hang. You might widen your feet. Turn your palms up, grab for your elbows, let your upper body dangle. Take a few breaths to be heavy in your upper body. When you're ready, if you like it, you could interweave your fingers at the base of your tail and let your one big fist tilt forward and down. You might loosen the grip of the hands or grab a hold of a bandana or a strap or a belt between the hands, etc. Relax your neck. Notice if your shoulders compress your neck, you might actively kind of move the shoulder blades more together to change where the action is. And exhale to release hands to tail and let them hang down. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. And exhale, hands down, step back to plank pose, upward push-up position. Inhale, exhale, knees to the mat. And bend your elbows to lower halfway. So chaturanga, but the knees are down. Inhale to upward dog, roll over your toes. Really practice kicking the tops of your feet down, pressing your hands down to elevate your whole body off the earth. But always put the knees back down as you exhale on your way back to downward facing dog pose and breathe. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step it through. You can grab it and draw it up. Tend to the fingertips again. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge, and go back and forth. You might even try it without your hands. Just try to use your hands less for load bearing. This can be a leg-oriented action. Your back knee might even come to the earth from time to time. And the next time your front knee is bent, pause. Take an inhale. And exhale, step forward with one or many steps. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding deeply. Good. Plant your hands and step back. Plank pose, upward push-up. Take a big free inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Lower halfway. Feel free to use the knees or to lower all the way. Inhale to up dog or find cobra if you lowered all the way down. And exhale to down dog. Tail high, heels low. Breathe. One more pattern with the legs before sun saluting. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, open the hip, bend the knee, let your foot hang. Inhale, straighten and extend, and exhale your right foot down. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, open the hip, bend the knee, and continue with your breath. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. And go back and forth, follow the breath, inhaling and exhaling. So it's about 4 breaths on each side. Inhaling and exhaling. Maybe if you're not on the left side right now, you'll go through it one more time completely on each side. Next time you finish the left side as we started on the right. Remain in downward facing dog pose. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale to the top of your mat. You might take a slow journey. You might notice when your hands have to lift up, if they have to lift up, and let that be a soft place where you pay attention and you let time pass. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees if you like. Stick your tail out. You might also work more of a shoulder blade opening. Exhale, forward fold and bend your knees. Choose your feet for sun salutation A. Might be together, might be hips distance. Round up slowly, drag your head, drag your fingertips. When you get to the top, use a couple of exhales to adjust what you need to roll your shoulders down your back, to stack your head in relative neutral. And this position that we think of as human neutral, right? What we've adapted, sort of live inside of with these upright pelvises and spines. So take a moment to try to stack your body without thinking of it from the external point of view. We're not performing a posture or aesthetic, instead paying attention to forces of gravity, barometric pressure of the atmosphere, and our breath. If you have intention, if that's part of your magical practice of yoga, you might draw it to mind. It can be super simple, like I'm here to ease my body. It can be super complicated, like I'm here to create radical revolution. You can practice whatever you'd like to practice. This is your life, as it were, so you know what needs practicing. I urge you not to shy away from what is vulnerable or difficult, not to shy away from what is dark or shadowy. If that is the work that is needed, remember there is always a spectrum, when it seems to all be dark. Take an inhale, reach your arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Always feel free to bend your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll. Exhale, Chaturanga, step or float back. Choose one of those, lower half or all. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe Ujjayi Pranayama in and out through your nose. Plant your hands and exhale, step or float forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, pose. Bend the knees, rise as you need to, reach up. Exhale, Samasthitihi, arms come down by the side. Sekam, inhale, arms up. Due, exhale, fold deeply down, you got it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, step or float to lower. Inhale, upward dog pose, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, downward dog pose, Adho Mukha. Breathe, Ujjayi Pranayama, in and out through the nose. Exhale, step or float forward. Land on your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, pose. Exhale, Samasthitihi. Return to neutral, same standing posture. Ekam, inhale, arms up. Due, exhale, folding deeply. Trini, inhale and roll to set. Chatwari, exhale. Chaturanga of your choice. Pancha, inhale, up dog. Shad, exhale, down dog. Ujjayi Pranayama, in and out of your nose. Try to breathe into your ribs. Remember, breath happens in the body. Rise and fall of the diaphragm affects your entire kinesthetic action because you're connected, interconnected with connective tissue and fascia. So the air only enters your lungs and I guess your bloodstream, depending on how you think about it. But your body moves throughout. Exhale, step or float. Supta, inhale, halfway lift. Ashtau, exhale, folding. Noah, inhale all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samasthitihi, return to neutral. Last one, Ekam, inhale, arms up. Due, exhale, folding. Inhale and rolling. Exhale. Chaturanga Dandasana. Pancha, inhale, up dog. Shad, exhale, down dog. Ujjayi Pranayama, in and out through your nose or mouth. Relax your face, hang your head and neck. Strong arms and legs without gripping. You might apply tone in the belly and the floor of the pelvis, Uddiyana and Mula Bandha, nothing extreme. Exhale, float forward, land on your feet. Supta, inhale, unroll. Ashto, fold deeply. Noah, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching upward. And exhale, Samasthiti, stand in neutral. All right. Inhale the arms up, reach up. Exhale, side body bend to the right. So you can pull in your left hand, left wrist with your right hand, Ardha Chandrasana form. We do this one a lot. Inhale back through center and exhale over to the left. As you do this, alternatively, you could bend your elbows and grab them or grab for the wrists if you find the shoulders get tight and take your attention. Inhale back through center and exhale, dive down, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart to set. And exhale, fold. Good. Let's walk the feet out to mat's distance apart and squat down, Malasana or Mandukasana, sink your hips. You can use your hands on the earth. You can sit on a block. You can lift your heels. Everyone's anatomy is different, so it's likely to look quite different in each body. Take a big free inhale in and exhale, fold forward, lift your hips, hang your head. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, fold and step your right foot back. Long, low lunge with your left foot forward. And drop your right knee to the mat. You can fold the mat over if you like or pat it with a blanket and rise up onto the left knee. Interweave the fingers. Lift your heart up. Draw the belly in and tuck the tail a little, especially if your low back feels pinchy, so that you can lift up and go over. Inhale your right arm up and exhale, side bend to the left. Reach your left fingertips down for the earth, or again, reach up to pull on the right hand. The head can hang, or you're welcome to look up. Use your feet to press your right hip forward and to drive a little bit of your left thigh bone back. Inhale, rise to center, reach up. Exhale, cactus the arms to back bend, pull your shoulder blades down. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, hands to the earth, frame your left foot. Curl your right toes, lift your right knee up. Make sure you have enough shortness of stance that you can really bring high on your ball of your back foot. Inhale, rise up to high lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. So it's okay to bend the back knee if you need to, but try to really engage forward and down into your left heel. Take an inhale to reach your arms up and exhale to warrior two. Spin your back heel down, widen your arms out to a T shape. All right. Inhale, straighten your left leg and exhale, bend the knee and sink the hip. So we'll do a little of this pulsing. Inhale to straighten. And exhale to sink. Relax your shoulders. You might gaze out over the horizon as you go. The next time you exhale to bend the knee, side angle pose, please. So left elbow to the knee or hand to the block. Hang your arm outside of your leg, right arm up or over. Strike your back heel down and draw your navel in. You might turn your heart up, your gaze up to the right. Good. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Slide your right hand down your right leg. Lean your body back. Reach your left arm up and back. And exhale, straighten your front leg. Turn your toes in and fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged folding. Now, you might fold and be halfway and work here. If this is all about your hamstrings, you could bend your knees a little, but keep your heels actively plugging down, your tail spinning up. If you have the space in your body and it feels good, you could fold down, bring the crown of the head towards the earth, bend the elbows, and push the ground forward so that you can bring your body back between your legs. Inhale and roll like a halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the hips. Inhale stands you the rest of the way up. All right, on the exhale, let's scooch our heels and toes in a little bit so the stance is shorter, and then spin on your left heel so your left toes go forward. And you do triangle pose like a twist. So a short stance is fine. You can bend your knees if it's like hamstring funky, but think about letting your legs be an obstacle for your spine so you don't have to go all the way down. Stick your tail out, inhale, lean forward. And exhale, left hand onto the shin, thigh, earth block. If you're very mobile, you might bind the big toe with your two peace sign fingers. Stick your tail out, gaze upward. Remember doing this much higher so you can allow your body to twist as opposed to rounding down here and thinking, oh, I can't do anything because my hamstrings are so tight. Maybe of use to you. You might also really love to be in hamstring purgatory. And that might be your dharma. And if it is, go ahead and hang out with that fate. You are the only one who can know that. Good. Inhale stands you up. And exhale through warrior two. Bend your front knee. Take an inhale to reverse the warrior once more. Exhale, hands to the mat to frame your left foot. Spin your right heel up. Inhale, standing L. So you might go to this 90-degree place and start to breathe there. You can always bend both knees, but try to engage your right butt cheek and hamstring your lower back to help you lift your leg up higher. A back bend is really what's happening. Take an inhale. And exhale your right foot down with your left, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to crouch down. So lift your heels even if you don't need to and sink your hips down. Once that happens, start to use an inhale to tilt your knees forward and down, your upper body up. I have quite a wingspan, so my fingers can touch the ground, but yours might not. You might go side to side. You might come more forward. An alternative is to come and stretch the arches of your feet by bringing your knees down. And finding a little bit of balance work in that way instead. Take a bright inhale where you're at. And exhale to fold forward. Bring your heels down, hips up, and hang your upper body. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your right foot and step your left foot back. Long, low lunge. All 10 toes face forward. Take an inhale. Dip your back knee down, lift your heart up, and exhale, straighten your front leg again. Just one of those to notice where your pelvis is. And then bend your front knee and inhale to rise up into high lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana of your choosing. So you could bring the arms out or up. Anytime we say arms up, there's going to be a variety of things that folks do that feel good. So feel free to experiment and try them all out. They're all of use. Good. Take a big free inhale in. And exhale. Let's release the hands down, drop the back knee down. Make sure we get this side body bend in here. In the top of your foot down, and you can bring your right hand down, inhale your left arm up and side bend to the right. And press into your heels, hang your head. You might turn your gaze upward. Good. Inhale, rise, both arms through center. Exhale, cactus arm back bend. Pull your shoulder blades down, lift your heart up. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, release your hands down. All right, lift the back knee, curl the back toes. Inhale, crescent lunge. And exhale, warrior two. Let's find warrior two on the right side. You might adjust your feet. The angle your hip bones, your thigh bones come into your hip sockets really does have a lot of say in how things express themselves from the spine out. Inhale, straighten your right leg. It doesn't have to go all the way straight. And exhale, bend your knee. Do that a few times. Press with your foot into the ground with integrity. Take time to notice how things are. The next time you land in this long, low lunge, let's find the side angle pose. Bring right elbow to the knee or hang the arm down inside or outside of the foot. Take the left arm up or over. Hug your heels down and breathe. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Reach out up and back with your right arm. Slide your left hand down your back leg, avoiding the knee. And exhale to straighten your right leg and stand yourself up. Good. This time, you're going to toe heel your feet in closer right away. Turn your right toes out. Inhale, tail out, reach forward. And exhale into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Let your back hip roll forward and down. Let your inner right thigh roll forward to the front of your mat. And twist your heart to the left, maybe looking up. You can hang your head. Minimize the load bearing in the bottom arm so you can utilize the strength of your legs and your trunk. Make it a standing posture. Inhale to stand you up. Exhale back into warrior two. Widen out your feet. Inhale to reverse the warrior out, up and back. And exhale, hands to the earth. Good. Inhale to plank pose, upward push-up position. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower half or all the way. Inhale to upward dog pose or an alternative. Exhale to downward facing dog pose. Take a big deep inhale in through your nose. And open mouth, exhale, HA. Inhale in through the nose. And like a lion, HA. All right. Inhale, take your right leg up and back. Exhale, open the hip and bend the knee. Good. Inhale, straighten the leg and reach. And exhale, bend your right knee and draw it forward and through. Long, low lunge. Weight your right heel and inhale, kick the sky with your left leg. Squeeze your left butt cheek and take a few breaths to fold. Again, you might bend your knees. Standing L or split on this opposite side may be different than it was on the first. Good. Take an inhale and exhale, 2 feet down and together, forward fold at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. All right, we're going to move through one slow sun bee. We're going to stay in some of our postures for a course of time, about 5 breaths each. So stay and breathe. If you need to exit sooner, it's okay too. Good. Take an inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up pose, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching upward. And exhale, Samasthiti, find neutral. Take an inhale in, and let's start our sun bee. Exhale, bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale, arms forward or up, Utkatasana, back bend. Exhale, that's one breath. Begin to breathe here. And anything with your arms that frees your shoulders in your breath. Rock your weight back, kneecaps back and down. Breathing. About 2 more long, slow breaths. Exhale, fold forward deeply. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, a little bit extra. Let's find plank pose, upward push-up. Either hold plank for 5 breaths or we'll descend through chaturanga for 5 breaths. Exhale, slow. That's 1. Exhale, 2. Use the knees if you like. 3. 4. You can take your own count, of course. 5. You make it all the way down to the earth. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. And again, 5 breaths. So think about what will be sustainable. This time I'll count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's head back to down dog pose. We've been here a lot, so take an inhale if you need it, and exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. See if you can do it without swinging it up and back. Spin your back heel down. Inhale up to warrior 1, 5 breaths. And you can choose your angle. Your legs might be closer or wider, but try not to over-prioritize squaring your hips forward. They don't need to face forward. You just need to have integrity in your low belly so you can twist. Breathing. Probably about on your 3rd breath now. 3, 2, 1. Release your hands to the mat. Step back, inhale for plank. Exhale to slowly lower half or all the way. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, and step your left foot forward between your hands. Right heel down. Inhale, warrior 1, breathing 5 breaths. Settle your heels, soften your toes. 3, 2, 1. 1. Hands to the earth. Step back, chaturanga of your choice, or skip and head to down dog. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. 5 breaths. Tabletop is always an alternative, as is happy puppy or melting heart. And use your next exhale to travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Now we're going to do Padangusthasana here for 5 breaths as an extension of this fold. So walk your feet out hips distance if you need to. Take your 2 peace sign fingers and wrap them around your big toes. Inhale and roll your heart, and exhale, fold. Bend your elbows to the sides and pull yourself in and down. Good. Inhale, like a halfway lift. Unroll your heart. Bend your knees if you need to at any time. Exhale, release your fingers off your toes. Find your feet for Utkatasana. Sink your hips. Inhale, arms forward or up. Breathing for 5. 4. Relax your face and jaw. 3. 2. 1. Inhale, press into your feet, stand all the way up, and exhale, Sama Stiti. Good. Inhale the arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, fold forward, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll to set. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice. Inhale, upward dog or an alternate. Exhale, downward dog. Good. Inhale, take your right leg up and back. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach your right leg back, and exhale, step it outside your right hand. So take a wide stance and drop your left knee for lizard. We've done something similar already, but you might turn your right toes out and walk your right foot wider. You might strive a little internal rotation or external rotation in your back leg if you feel like you're rolling to the outside edge of your left thigh or knee. You can stay up on your hands or use props. You can hang your head right here and come down to the elbows or forearms if you wish. You can always work with your back knee lifted or crawling underneath and behind your right leg if you like. Breathe where you are. All right, we're going to twist. So you can keep your forearms down, or you can come up onto the hands again. Keep your left hand under your heart and bring your right hand to your right knee or thigh and turn to the right. You're welcome to stay right here or to begin to bend your back knee, which you might leave right where it is. You might reach and grab for your foot with your hand. You might use a strap to bridge the distance between. You can pull your heel towards your glute if you wish, or use it as a lever to help you turn yourself more. Look up and over if your neck allows, and breathe. Good, and release the back leg nice and long and bring 2 hands down. So we're going to do a little switcheroo here, so be careful with your knee. I like to bring my back knee a little forwards to do this, and then I turn the right leg out. I'm going to step my right foot back a little so that I'm turning into a side plank position. You can stay here on your bottom knee, or you can take to the outside edge of your left foot. You can stay here, or maybe you can reach down and pick up your foot and see what that's like. Be careful of what's behind you. I would fall off a deck, so I'm not going to try, but you can. You're welcome to take 2 peace sign fingers around your big toe and reach your leg up. Put it back down. You might get an inch into something and fall down. Try to keep your sense of humor, your sense of play. And remember, play shouldn't put you at risk. It should be fun. Notice how you can keep yourself in your own cul-de-sac as it is. Take an inhale. And exhale, slow to plank. 2 hands down, step your right foot back, and lower all the way down. Let's do crocodile. Take your right arm out to the right with the palm down at about nose height. Some folks more by the hip, some of you maybe even more up, but you want to find a place where you don't feel like your wrist or your shoulder are being over torqued, but where you feel compression in the shoulder blade, perhaps. Roll to the outside edge of your right body using your left hand and try to relax your head. You might rest it on your left hand or on a block. If you don't need your left hand for support in any way, and drape it behind you. You're welcome to bend your knee, let your leg hang back. Just a few breaths to find softness. And if it's too extreme right away, back it up. Sometimes it's much lower to the earth. Good. Return your left hand to the mat and roll back onto the front seam of your body. Bring your right hand under your shoulder and curl under your toes. From knees or toes, inhale up through plank. And exhale back to downward dog pose. Tail high, heels low. Inhale your left leg up and exhale, open the hip and bend the knee. Inhale, straighten and reach, and exhale, step your foot outside your left hand. Now you can lower the back knee if you wish, or keep it lifted. Stay on the hands or come to the forearms. You might walk your left foot up and out. You know the version for you, most likely. If you get into it and it's a lot, frequently, both in my own experience and in the reported experience of many students, postures like half pigeon might feel really good, and you think, my hips are really open, right? And then you do a pose like this, and you think, whoa, where is all this tension from? It's because there's always a limit, right? We're always trying to find that point where compression really is, where your range is, so that we can create more strength in your muscle and connective tissue at that place. So as you move outward, it may just be that this is the range of motion where you meet pressure because you're lifted up off the ground. Gravity has that pull upon you. Good. And we're going to twist it. Right hand underneath the heart or maybe forearm, left hand to the knee. Inhale, rotate to the left and look up over your shoulder. Hang your head if you wish. Stay here or bend your right knee. You can reach for the foot if you like. Use a strap to bridge the gap, loop it around. Remember, gracefulness is not about how it looks aesthetically. It's about how it feels. So take the time you need to organize your own structure, your own ease. Good. And release the back foot. 2 hands down on the inside of your left foot for the moment. You might turn your right foot out to the right and walk your left foot back and do this version with the knee down, maybe with the back leg back. And keep your left foot as it is and come to the blade of your right foot. And then you might reach for your foot and pick it up a couple times. You might take your big toe and extend upward towards the sky. Press your hand down. Give yourself a little room to play around in the side plank. You can do this from the forearm for sure with the knees down. And take another couple rounds of breath. And when you're ready, exhale into plank and lower all the way down onto your front seam. And take the left arm this time out to the left. Roll onto the left side of the body. Hang your head. You don't need your right hand. You might slip it behind. Otherwise, you might be using it to kind of balance yourself so you can rest. Breathe. Slowly using the support of your right hand, roll back into the front seam. Curl your toes under and press your hands down from knees or toes. Inhale up to plank. And exhale back to downward facing dog pose. Good. Walk your hands back to your feet at the back of your space. And squat down or crouch down. You can lift your heels if you like. So we're going to do this exercise. If you've taken class with me in real life, you may have done it before. We're going to sort of leapfrog around ourselves. And then we're going to do some stretches at the front of the mat and leapfrog back, right? So leapfrogging looks a little bit like this. So from this sort of squatted place, take your arms out and plant your hands. And you're going to sort of think, can I bring weight into my hands by bringing my shoulders over my hips? See how you're kind of in this sprung position? Take an inhale and exhale. Try to press into your hands and hop your feet to the outsides of your hands, maybe in front of them. And then you'll do that again. Reach your hands forward. Sometimes it's only one or two hops. So go ahead and we'll meet at the top of the mat in a wide-footed forward fold. Hang your upper body down. And you're going to move into twisting. Bend your left knee a lot and try to move your left shoulder or arm to the inside of your left leg. You might even take your left hand and walk it behind from the inside and around the back of your foot to the outside. Tending to the fingers is a great way that feels like your hand wouldn't make contact with the earth to get stability. And then maybe both knees are bent as you inhale to twist to the right and reach your right arm up. You might straighten your leg. That might be part of your practice, your right leg, that is. You might straighten both legs. You can also work on half binding or full binding, reaching the hands behind the back, trying to grab for two hands outside of your left hip. You'll have to turn your arm bones inward, which is the opposite of what we just did laying on the ground, that external rotation of the arms in crocodile. Notice how it feels. All right, and if you're feeling like this is interesting, whether you're half bound or full bound, you might sort of walk your feet around a little bit. Notice what it's like to hang your head, stir your thigh bone in your hip socket. Is it different when your right foot is in front of your left or behind? And just a little experimentation so you keep some whimsy, as it were. Take another few breaths to do that. And we'll meet in forward fold for the other side. And widen your feet back out if they got close. Bend your right knee, right shoulder to the inside edge. Inhale your left arm up or around behind your back. And again, half binding sort of looks like this, reaching for your inner thigh. Or maybe you do it with the other hand. This one is usually where the shoulder blade feels real funky and it feels like you can't turn anymore. Sometimes this arm is able to find that arm. We reach around. And breathe here. You might straighten your left leg and twist. You might experiment with what it's like to have one foot in front of the other, your knees more bent. Wiggle around a little bit if there's some space for it. A few breaths. And exhale to fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. So we're going to leapfrog back, because we didn't do enough already. So bend your knees, feet wide, maybe even wider than the mat. Walk your hands as far back as you can and still put them on the ground, which might mean knees are really bent. Cool? Once your hands are on the ground, try to take some of your weight into your hands, push, and hop your feet back a little bit, right? Really going to be about pushing into the ground more than you think to get the lightness of your legs, at least more than I thought at first. Go back, and when you're at the back of your mat, hang in your forward fold for a couple of breaths. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands out into a plank pose. Inhale there. Exhale, last. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog pose, and exhale, downward dog. And still exhaling, eye the gateway between your hands. Glide, slide, or struggle to a seat on your mat. And take your legs out in front of you. Pull the flesh out from underneath you for staff pose, or sit up on the edge of something, or bend the knees so that your pelvis can tilt forward and up. And you'll have to sort of let your spine naturally curve so you can stack your shoulders over your hips. Let your chin hang down. You'll have a lot of chevron and diamond-shaped muscles in the back half of your body. You also have this kite-shaped muscle in your hips, your psoas, that's help pulling you up and forward. It's a trunk creator and attaches to the legs and to the low spine. Tent to the fingertips, light touch next to the hips. Kick through the heels. Knees are straightening even if they're quite bent. Press the backs of your legs down into the ground. All right, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. You can be active or passive about this one, extended or rounded. You might reach for 2 big toes with peace sign fingers, or reach up. Take an inhale, stretch your spine, and exhale, fold the length. Your spine will try to round as you go, so you might even let yourself be passive, do it in a more yin way, round in. You might try to extend your spine by flaring your tail out and pulling with your arms and your big toes of your feet. Drop your shoulder blades into your back. You can always use a strap if your arms and feet don't meet one another. And slowly bring the crown of your head toward your toes. Exhale by exhale, breath by breath. Good. Inhale and roll like a halfway lift. And exhale to the counter pose, Purvottanasana. Bring your hands behind you, 6-8 inches, fingers forward. You're welcome to do this bent knee style in the reverse tabletop or straight leg style with toes pointed. Inhale, lift your heart up, lift your hips up. Squeeze your hamstrings and your glutes to press up instead of bending your knees if your legs are straight. Press your hands down, hang your head back, but look up down the line of your nose towards the ceiling or sky. Breathe across your chest, Ujjayi Pranayama. Exhale to lower yourself down. All right. Roll to the outside edge of your left hip and fold your right knee. You can roll the calf out to sit your hip down. Sit up on a block. If there's a lot of pressure in your knee, grab a couple pillows and sit your pelvis up on them so that the pressure alleviates. Roll up a towel also you could put behind your knee. You're welcome to do the folded forward version. Reach for your foot, inhale and exhale, fold, and grab a strap too. I find that upright can be very useful, just feeling the weight of your right hip down if that's for you. You might slide yourself backwards, coming to your elbows or your forearms. Manage a little bit the body's desire to turn to the left, but you don't have to be super extreme. You're going back onto the elbows. You might hang your head back and breathe here. If you went back and down or forward and down, slowly ascend back to neutral. Roll to the outside edge of your right hip and bring your right foot to the ground. So take your time to do that. And as you do, turn towards the long side of your mat and get your foot down. So my right butt cheek is way up off the ground, and that is A-okay. Really hard to do this if your calf is long, your shin muscle and shin bone is long, without lifting the hips, so feel free. Now we're going to side bend to the left. So you might grab with your left hand your right ankle and go over with your right hand. You might side bend over onto your elbow and hang your head. You can round. You don't need to reach up and over and grab your foot, especially if it makes you turn back down. Sometimes reaching up is the thing. Breathe. And slowly inhale, come back up. And roll the outside of your leg down. You can bring your heel into your inner left thigh. You're welcome to go straight over like the center seam of your body or to turn over your left leg. Inhale and exhale, folding deeply. Breathe. Good, and release it. Curl your way up on the inhale and release both legs long, and you might kind of roll them in and out or kind of strum the legs by bending them. Roll to the outside edge of your right hip and fold your left leg. You can roll the calf out and roll your hip down. And again, upright might be a useful place to stay in this pose. Reaching forward might be useful to you, or going back might be useful. Pick your pick your poison, I suppose, is the sort of silly thing we say about it. Remember that in many ways, many cultures utilized things that we consider as poison to heal themselves. So consider what are the difficulty, the choice of focus and practice, and knowing that the truth sometimes stings, right? Sometimes that's how it is, how we react versus how we respond is really the point of view. If you folded forward or went back, slowly start to bring yourself back upright over your leg. Roll to the outside edge of your hip once more. Bring the sole of your foot down. So you're going to turn towards your left leg. And you'll see the back of me for this moment. You can stack your left foot wherever you need it to be. And then you can reach your right hand across the front of your body for your left leg and take your left arm up and over at a side bend. Breathe. Your legs can really be in any shape. Side bending or alternatively twisting might be helpful to practice if these poses don't work for you. Know that that's human. Not all of them will work for everybody. And slowly inhale to pull yourself up and bring the sole of your left foot to your inner right thigh. And you might turn over your right leg or face forward directly over your pelvis. Inhale. And exhale to fold, Janya Shirshasana, the head to knee pose, breathing. Good. Slowly, next few breaths, round yourself up and take your both legs out long. Roll slowly down onto your back. You might take it slow to get a little abdominal toning going on the way down. Once you're down there, bend your knees. Place the soles of your feet on the mat. You might drop your knees side to side or stay right here. An option for bridge pose. Bring your hands to the earth. Plug your heels down and inhale. Lift your hips up. Squeeze your glutes. That'll tuck your tail naturally. Squeeze your hamstrings to press your heels into the earth. Let your front ribs open and puff out. Roll your shoulders under if you like. You could interweave your fingers. 5 breaths. If you'd like to move into Urdhva Dhanurasana from here and plant your hands by your shoulders, hug your elbows in and come on up. Breathe. Notice what it's like to remain for time. And very slowly, when 5 breaths of your own Ujjayi are complete, roll down out of your back bend, bring your hips to the earth, and you might drop your legs from side to side once more. Take your legs up and shake them out. Some people like to take their legs out or around or do something else. If you know you need to hug your knees into your chest to reconcile backward bending, do. We'll start to head into reconciling postures, into finishing poses. I like to think of finishing poses like, after you sand down the wooden structure that you've built, you put on, finishers, sealants, as it were, sort of hold in the work that you've done. And so these things don't need to necessarily be extreme or the same every time. You might just stay where you are and breathe. There might be a safe plow or shoulder stand. Taking the next 3 or so minutes to wind down towards rest. And that's many breaths for most of us, 15, 20 breaths minimum, maybe more. So if you're doing your work, you might organize along that timeline. You don't need to do anything. You can head to rest early, take your legs long, arms long, lie on your back. You're welcome to lie on your side or your belly instead, or to mosey over to a friendly chair, etc., to sit up on. And try to find a sweater myself, a little chilly where I am. And as you lay down to rest, or you set up for rest, allow it to honor what you need. Once again, right? There might be a clear, your shoulder is tender and needs more support, or you need to lie in this stretch or that stretch, and it just feels right. And honor that, please. I think structure is really helpful as we build discipline, but many of us are actually so disciplined that we over apply management, and we can sort of stop out our own freedom and our own softness. Right inside, right, there's its own battle waging sometimes. So here, as you allow yourself this moment of softness, notice if there's like a negotiation that has to go on. You have to say, I did hard work and now I can rest, right? I earned it, right? See if you can let go of the commodification, let go of the idea that you have to buy your sense of peace, and that you could be allowed to be peaceful even when the circumstances aren't ideal. You could practice being with friction and being the force of softness and truth. Relaxation is often the state of creativity, of perception, of enlightenment. And close your eyes, let your hands rest in relative neutral. Look at a spot if you need to keep your eyes open. Get out any last fidgets or wiggles or movements. Adjust anything that needs to be adjusted. Let the weight of your body be pulled down by gravity. Give over any last control you have of your breath to your body. We'll rest here for just a few minutes. I'll call you up and out when it's time to move on. Until then, allow yourself to practice the compassion of time and awareness. Pay attention to how things really are. Swasti prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahishaha Go Brahmanye Vyahya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Excuse me. Little by slowly, begin to return. If you're lying in rest and wish to remain, do. Stay in rest as long as you need or like. The time has come for you to return to action. Go to your breath and let it gently rise in awareness and function and structure and intention. Let your knowledge start to rise with it. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Shrug and hood your shoulders. Scrunch and spread your face. Stretch out or up. And when you're ready, you might reach your arms overhead and begin to roll to one side and gather your knees into your chest. And softly and gently, when you're ready, press yourself up slowly towards a nice tall seat, and we'll seal in practice together. As you go slowly, consider the circumstances of your practice and the great gratitude there is to be able to turn towards practice, the work you do yourself as an individual, circumstances of lifetime, privilege, obstacle that have led you to this work on this day. And as you press up to a tall seat, know that we seal the practice with a little bit of classic-ness from the tradition that I have learned yoga in from Krishnamacharya in the south of India, from which Vinyasa and Ashtanga yoga come. That's a traditional closing chant in that lineage. And the text is from the Rig Veda, so we see it actually in a lot of different lineages, a lot of studies of yoga. The overarching meaning of the chant is, may there be victory to the energy that creates. May the noble practitioners and leaders here be blessed, and may their work be effective and cultivate abundance. May our work seek to contribute to the happiness and liberation of all beings everywhere, inside of this context of universality, non-dualism, and peace. If you wish, you can fold your hands in the Anjali Mudra, the prayer position at heart center, acknowledging the meeting place between things that seem oppositional, where they become one. Thank you for your time and energy. You might bring thumbs to the third eye, acknowledging that the mind must bow to the heart, and seal your practice by bowing to yourself. And thank you, friends, for joining practice, for letting me be a part of your work. If you have feedback or you need information or need to reach out to me in any way, always feel free to do so. This class is donation-based. No one's ever turned away for lack of funds. And through about the 3rd of July, the end of the week, we continue to raise funds for the Minnesota Healing Justice Network. There's a link to their PayPal in this video. There's also a link to their website if you want to check out what they do. You can also donate through all the normal forums you might when you donate for a class to me, and I will send it on. A few folks reached out and were like, oh, I didn't get a chance to, integrate in that way. So take your time. You can always label it on the donations you make, etc. I think around the 4th, it may shift to a different organization. I'm still doing my research. But just so you know, if you're looking to give to that organization, their work sounds dope. So check it out. And if you need anything from me, let me know. Otherwise, have a great week. And I hope you're well. And stand for the revolution of love, peace, and reality.